Greetings everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra and you're watching Spotless Mind Tarot. In this series of videos we are going to take a look into what is coming your way for the end of 2023. You can watch this video anytime from the release date to the very end of the year. There will be a total of 12 videos, one for each zodiac sign. I suggest that you watch for your rising, sun, and moon sign. Keep in mind that the messages I receive in these readings are general, so apply them accordingly to your life. All of my readings are audio recorded, and photos of the spread will appear on the screen as we progress through the reading. The format for the readings will go as follows. I will start each reading by taking a look at the current energies that you may be experiencing at the time you are watching this video. Next, I'll take a look at what is coming your way for the end of the year and what you could expect to occur during these last few months. After that, we'll get some advice from your spirit guides and see what they would like for you to know going into 2024. Then I'll pull an oracle card that will tie together the reading for you. The oracle will basically highlight the overall outcome of the year. Thank you for watching, and please hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video. Blessings, Virgo, and welcome to your year-end tarot reading. This is good for rising sun or moon in the sign of Virgo. We are going to start by taking a look at the current energies to see where you are at the time of watching this video, and then we'll find out what you could expect to occur here at the end of 2023. If you would like to book a private reading with me, you may do so on my Etsy shop. The link for that is in the description below, and all other information and links can be found in the description. The decks we'll be using today are the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot deck and Angelarium, Oracle of Emanations. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so for current energies, we got the Seven of Cups, the Lovers, and the Seven of Wands. Okay, so there seems to be a lot of confusion here. You guys are at a crossroads. You're needing to make a really important decision. It's almost like there's all these offers, and they can be related to romance. So if you're dating, you may be seeing several people right now. If it's not to do with dating or relationships, this can do with profession, career, anything that you're dealing with at this moment. Let's say you're a stay-at-home mother or stay-at-home parent, and so the Seven of Cups is telling me that there's a decision that needs to be made. You're having all these options and choices, all these different prospects, all these different offers, and I feel that it's confusing you because I also feel like you already know what your decision's going to be before any of this even happened. But now that you're getting all these new offers, it's kind of throwing you off, I think. And it may have taken you a little bit off track from the original decision you were going to make. Something about Leos are coming up too. In the Leo reading, there's something similar with decision making and like moving forward with the decision they've made. So maybe go watch that video if you think you can get a message from that, especially if you have any Leo placements, or even if Leo sits on one of your angular houses. So your rising, your 4th house, your 7th house, or your 10th house. If Leo is sitting there, I suggest watching that video, because then Leo is prominent in your chart even if you don't have any planets there. Either way, there's some confusion. I feel like it's distracting you. You may even be distracting yourself. So there's just like a lot going on, and it's like, I'm getting that it's completely unnecessary. Like, you're all in your head. Some of you may be like disassociating, like you're disconnecting from reality. Maybe you find yourself daydreaming a lot more. And so it's kind of got you a little confused. It's like your head's in the clouds. Things seem kind of foggy. And things seem kind of foggy could just be like an overall thing. So maybe you're not even like this. Let's say you're not a very like daydreamy type person, but reality just seems kind of hazy at the moment. Things don't really seem clear to you. There could be a lot of just overall confusion. Maybe you're not getting enough sleep. So I would check into that. Maybe you need to get checked out by a doctor even. So I feel there could be some kind of like underlying issue. It doesn't have to be medical, but there's some kind of underlying issue that's kind of causing all this like Seven of Cups, confusion, illusory kind of vibe going on. Now we do have the Lovers out, and so relationships are on the forefront. They don't have to be romantic. This could also represent things like career or something that you really love and enjoy, like a hobby. But the Lovers is all about uniting male and female energy, having like total emotional fulfillment, just being like completely satisfied with an outcome. You could also be experiencing an outcome. So something that you've worked really hard on, now you're seeing the results of it. So there could be a cycle that's ending, and it's ending in a very, very positive way. It's going in your favor. There's a lot of completions here. There could also be new love. There could just be romance in general. So even if you are single and there's no one in your life, even if you're like not dating, love and romance is still like, it's happening right now for you, because this is current energies. So you could just be feeling this. You could just be really feeling content and just I'm also getting like safe. There's a lot of trust. You could just be trusting yourself for those who are single and just really enjoying your own company, even just the company of others in general. I'm getting like a humanitarian vibe. Like you're really giving right now. You've been spending a lot more time listening to people, and it's helping you realize like how much in the past maybe you weren't listening. Like you're letting people speak more. Basically, listening is like where you listen to somebody without a need to respond or looking to respond, or even stopping yourself from responding, because I feel like sometimes when people say stuff, it ignites something within us and it makes us want to respond. And so the act of listening is to, even if that happens, to refrain from expressing or sharing something you just thought of while someone's talking. Not sure why I'm mentioning this, but that could just be something for like one person that they're going through right now. Or maybe it's something you are wanting to work on to be a better listener. I'm getting like a lot of Libra energy as well. So I was picking up on Leo, Libra. They sit beside you along the zodiac. So Leo comes before you and then Libra comes after you. So you're kind of just nestled in between, right? So these two energies could still be dominant in your chart, regardless if you have any planets there or not. Or these are just the energies. Let's just say, for example, things have been really progressing since Leo season, and maybe up until like Libra season, and Scorpio season's here now. And this is what's causing like a fog and a confusion. I mean, which makes sense. Scorpio is a time for us to go deeper and to take a good hard look at ourselves. And, it's like the underworld, right? And so sometimes when we're down there, we could be really like lost. We could be really confused. It's just a time of like purging. So for some people, this isn't a season for action. As I'm recording this video. So let's say you're watching this video later on, like in December, it's no longer Scorpio season. But perhaps this was something that occurred in Scorpio season to where you're just like in limbo. And that's kind of what Scorpio is. It's kind of like a limbo. Now we have the Seven of Wands here. And so there's like a lot of conflict that you're dealing with. It's a lot of outside conflict. I'm also getting like somebody's parents are really like helicopter parenting, or they want them to do something because it's traditional or it's expected of them. But you as an individual, like, you don't identify with it. You know, like a classic example would be like your parents want you to go to law school or go become a doctor, but you're an artist, right? And so, like, why would you have any interest in doing that, you know, like law or becoming a doctor when you just want to create? So it's like that kind of vibe where you're facing opposition for something you want to do, and then what's expected of you from anyone. It could be parents, society, the government, whatever. Like, you're facing a lot of pushback. It could even be internal, so there could be like a lot of insecurities that you're experiencing right now, especially during Scorpio season. And that's just a sign that you need to resolve this, and to allow what it is that you're feeling insecure about to come up, and then evaluate it and ask yourself, okay, like, why do I even feel insecure? And for some of you, it could go really deep. Maybe there's something in the past, like something you learned in childhood, and now it's up for review. Like, it's just like one of those subconscious things that you've been dealing with your whole life. For some of you, there's like a lot of jealous people, especially people who are in the same like bracket as you. So like coworkers, or people like competing for like the same position, or people who are taking like the same classes as you if you're in school. Your greatness is showing, and now it's becoming a threat to other people. And so there's some jealousy involved. Again, this could even just be between you and your parents, or just you and family members. Because I do feel like this has a lot to do with like you against the status quo, like you against what is expected or what's considered normal by society or within the culture you live in. But you're just like, you're not interested. It's not like you don't appreciate it, you know, especially if you're receiving pushback from like people or situations that like mean well and want the best for you, but they don't know what's right for you, you know what I mean? And so it's like they mean well, but they don't really know what is best for you because they're not you. I feel like these people, whoever they are, they just don't have enough information about you, and so they're almost projecting, but I wouldn't want to call it that either. It's just, you know, this is just how they see things. So sometimes there's a difference between perception and projection. And projection's like, you know, you experience pain, and so you project that on it to other people, and you give somebody a hard time because at the moment you're feeling pain, right? For whatever reason. That's a projection. And then a perception is like, in order to become successful, you must become a lawyer, a doctor, or whatever, right? Like hold a high position. Whether or not the person that's perceiving that viewpoint has a high position themselves, you know, it's like it's just a perception. Like that's what they view as successful. And so I feel like some of you may need to offer forgiveness or to accept somebody's forgiveness, because it has a lot to do with perception and just like not seeing eye to eye. So whatever the Seven of Wands energy that's coming up for you guys, where you're experiencing an opposition, you guys just aren't seeing eye to eye. They just don't get it. They don't see it like you. They don't understand it. And then if anything, that's just for them to deal with. And we have 2 sevens out. So 7 can be about luck. And I feel like this luck has a lot to do with following your rules, okay? I mean, obviously, there's some rules you have to follow and you can't break. But in terms of personal growth and development, you could find a lot of luck at this time in doing what you know is right for you, regardless of what anyone thinks, regardless of what anyone says. And if you're in an environment that doesn't allow you to grow, then you maybe need to evaluate a way to get out of that environment, or a way to cut that person off, or even just ignore what they say, like not let what they have to say affect you or make you, you know, change your decision. Because it, you know, we did get the 7 of Cups earlier, and has a lot to do with like you're getting like new offers. There's a lot of new distractions. And I think it's coming from the opposition. If it's a person or if it's just the energy, like you just, you're trying to get something started and you just can't because like for whatever reason the universe is just like kind of stopping you. And because I mentioned something about perception, I feel your perception is also something you need to evaluate, especially in the Seven of Cups energy, where you have all this distraction, and then you have the Seven of Wands, and you have all this opposition, and then you have the Lovers in the middle, and like that's where you are, like internally, and even maybe just externally, like within relationships in general. But there's all this shit going on around you, right? And it's interesting because you have the Cups on the left and the Wands on the right. And in the image of the card, you have a woman on the left and a man on the right. And, that's masculine, feminine energy. And so there is like this clash between the two. And it's all like external though, because inside I feel like you guys are pretty balanced. Now, that's not to say that all you guys are feeling really balanced. Maybe some of you guys are going through a lot right now. Like maybe you're really busy, or even just like emotionally you're going through a lot. Either way, you still like have this sense of you're just in a good place overall. And so I can see where there's like confusion, because it's like things are going well. Even if you are like depressed, like you're still finding you're like pushing yourself through it. Like you're knowing that this is a temporary feeling, whatever you're feeling, and you're still going through it, pushing through it. But while you're doing that, it's like there's all this other stuff coming up. And again, I do feel like it has a lot to do with Scorpio season. So it's a temporary thing. And this is just the current energy. So we will see what's going to come up next. But basically, like that's what I'm getting with the current energies. There's just like a lot of mishmash. But overall, I feel like you're in a good place. You're in the right place. This is very temporary. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into what you could expect. Okay, so what you could expect to come up here at the end of the year, we have the Nine of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Ten of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. And I'm being first drawn to the Eight of Cups because this speaks about having to walk away from something. There's something that you're going to have to turn away from. I'm also seeing this as like, not so much like a forfeit, but it's like, I did all that I could. I'm no longer gonna fight for this, or I'm no longer gonna give my attention to this. And so you're walking away from it. And it could be something that, again, like something you've been working really hard on, something that you've really dedicated a lot of time to, maybe even your life to. And for whatever reason, it's not working out. And so now you're having to step away from it. The Nine of Cups, though, this speaks of like emotional fulfillment and just being really content with what you got going on, which makes sense because we do have the Lovers. And so it's almost like you guys are going to have to step away from something that once seemed really familiar. And it can be really, really hard because we do have the Ten of Wands and the Eight of Swords. And so I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm just going to deliver it how it comes to me. I feel, though, whatever you're walking away from is going to give you some relief. I also feel like although you're walking away from something, there's something else. There's something else that you're having to carry. And I feel for some of you, there's like a lot of guilt. A lot of like, I could have done better. Or I should have did this. I should have did that. And if you do that for long enough, it could lead you to the Eight of Swords, of feeling like hopeless. It's like you put yourself in your own mental prison by doing that. You bind yourself to your own misery by doing that. So that's something to be careful about here at the end of the year. You definitely don't want to slip into a dark place. You definitely don't want to linger on, the could-haves, the could-haves, the would-haves. Like, you got to let go of the past. And so at the end of the year, I do feel you are wrapping things up. If you're walking away from a person or a situation, that was like really comfortable and brought you a lot of joy and like felt really fulfilling, at the end of this year, you're probably going to find yourself having to, it's almost like letting go and picking back up is what I'm getting. Like you put something down and then there's something else you have to pick up. So it's not like the same thing you're picking back up, but there's like something else. So every time you're able to rest, it's soon followed by more work. So it could even appear like that in your real life. So let's say like you have a day where it's just totally chill, and then the next day it's like the complete opposite, and then the following day it's totally chill, and then it's the complete opposite again. So like there could be like I'm getting like a wave or like an up and down or that sort of thing. So for some of you it could be something external like that, or it could be like an internal thing. But I do feel like you keep coming back to this Nine of Cups energy. And I feel it has a lot to do with you like reminding yourself of who you are, reminding yourself of why you're leaving this relationship, or you're leaving this situation, or you're no longer communicating with this person. And it's like there's a struggle to maintain this Nine of Cups energy in the process, even though you know that's what you need to do. Or let's say it's something like you feel it's the right thing to do, is to maintain that balance of feeling okay with whatever's happening. I also feel like you're taking on new commitments, taking on new responsibilities, or you're being given more responsibilities. And it could be taking a lot away from like your free time or your downtime. So if you're parents, you're probably spending a lot more time with your children than you are expected to. Like, let's say you walked away from a job and now you're home, and so you're having like more duties, like you're having to clean the house and like do all this other stuff when you're expecting to just like chill out. Like finally I have all this time, I am not working anymore, or or even if like you graduated, like I don't have to go to school right now, and I got all this extra time, and then bam, you're just like hit with like shit that you have to do. Even if you're not a parent, maybe it's just there are just things that like pop up, and it's like man, this sucks. I wasn't expecting to do all this. I was hoping to really like be on vacation here. There's no vacation. I'm getting like here at the end of the year, and I don't mean to laugh. There's like no vacation. I mean, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. And now I'm kind of thinking about like the Seven of Cups. And it's like how you have all these new offers, or whatever that energy is about. I feel like these offers are just like new responsibilities, like things that just randomly popped up and you have to take care of it. A lot of all of a suddens. There's a lot of all of a suddens here at the end of the month. A lot of surprises, and it requires your attention and your focus, even your labor or your work. And these things are random. Like I said, it could be like a day by day thing where something just random happens. So although, we have the Eight of Swords and then the Eight of Cups, and it's like this down bad energy, or just like disappointment and like grief even, I still keep coming back to the Nine of Cups. Like you're still trying to maintain that. Like even though there's all this like chaos, you're still in this lover's energy. It's quite fascinating, actually. And maybe that's very Virgo of you, like you guys are definitely a sign that can deal with chaos, although I would say you probably don't enjoy it. Maybe you do, I don't know. It's expected almost, like you expect it to happen in a way, in a sense, like this is my life. Like This one's pretty normal, actually. But at the same time, it's like totally disappointing for some reason. Or maybe just for some of you, like, maybe because it's like you had this finally, I'm free, and then, you know, nope. Something comes up. Nope, you're required. Your assistance is required. This reading is very interesting. If you are walking away from a relationship, you're having to start over. It's like you're having to rebuild a new foundation, especially if you guys live together or it was a long-term relationship, or maybe even like started a business together. Whatever it is, like you guys built something together, and now if you're walking away from a relationship or if someone's walking away from you, you're having to start over. So I feel for some of you like this is a long-term commitment coming to an end. It doesn't have to be romantic. And it's like you have to like pack up everything and take your pieces and go build somewhere else. So it doesn't have to be a relationship either. It could just be a situation. Again, like a job. That's like a perfect example. Like you put in all this work at this company and they're laying people off, and you're having to pack up your office and, pack up a box and take your stuff and go and like rebuild somewhere else. So it could be willingly or forcefully, like you don't have a choice, like someone's walking away from you or the company's laying you off, or this is your choice, you're walking away from the relationship, or, it was your decision to leave this company. Whatever it is, you're having to rebuild either way, like there's no getting around that. I'm getting something about like board games, like a chess game. So I don't know what that means. That might be significant to somebody. A chess move, a chess game, a board game. Something like that. Also something about collecting your earnings and your winnings, and you're not sharing them. You're saving them. You're keeping them for yourself. There's something that you're keeping for yourself. It's interesting because we start this row with the Nine of Cups, and then in the Eight of Cups, it's about walking away. A 9 minus 8 is 1. And that 1 is turning into this 10. Like that one thing you're walking away with or you're taking with you. And this can be related to anything. This is just a message I'm getting. The one thing you take away from something, a situation, a relationship, a job, whatever, it's really 10 things. There's a lot of value in what it is you're taking. It could even just be like information or knowledge or a skill or something. But whatever it is, that one thing that you're taking away and leaving 8 behind is like everything. It's everything, or it's like enough for what you need to do next. Because it's really a 10. It's really the 10 of Wands. It's really all these sticks. And it is a struggle to carry around. And that's probably why you left behind 8, because it's a lot. But at the same time, I'm seeing it as like it's enough. I'm seeing it as like he needs to go rebuild somewhere else. And I could see how it would lead to like the 8 of Swords, of feeling like depleted, feeling defeated, feeling all alone, depressed even. Just like, why me? Why is this happening? Or I don't want to do this, or this is hard. This was not how I wanted it to be. These are the consequences of my actions, or these are the consequences of somebody else's actions that I'm caught up in the fire of, and I have to deal with it. Even if it's unfair, or even if it has like, I don't want to say victim, but if you were a victim in the situation, like, let's say, for example, there was a relationship that ended or a career, and it was their doing, and you just feel cheated, like you feel like there's more to the story. But either way, like, it's making you feel just so bad. But at the same time, it's like, you don't like that because you're like, everything's going so great though. So like, let's say you're having wins in so many other aspects of your life, but like this one thing is like, that came to an end. It's like, it's so confusing. Like, what do you mean? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, everything's going so well. And so it's like, we come back again to the Nine of Cups of like, okay, so I'm fine, actually. Like, everything's fine. But then if you start thinking about it, or if like the fact of the situation is, it's like, it's not, seem like it appears not to be. Like, on paper, it's not fine, but so perception is a big thing for you guys to maintain that Nine of Cups. Even if you had to walk away or let go of something, like, you still have your cups. You still have everything. If you believe you do, then you do. You know what I mean? And it's not so much just a belief, but like a feeling. Like, if you feel enough, if you feel validated, and like, and if you even look at it from like, okay, well, this is just another aspect of my life. This is just another thing in my life. I have so many more years ahead of me, and like, this is just a one-time thing, or again, like, this is just life, right? It could keep you in that Nine of Cups energy of feeling content and okay with everything, feeling very grateful. Even Nine of Cups speaks about gratitude. And I'm getting forgiveness again. So maybe you need to forgive somebody, or you need to accept somebody's forgiveness, or even forgive yourself. Okay, that's basically what I'm getting for you guys here at the end of the year. What you could expect, at least according to these cards. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move forward, and we're going to get advice from your spirit guide. So this advice should help you navigate through what's coming up for you, and like, basically help you ground what it is you're going through and see it as just like another aspect in your life, and how it doesn't define you or anything, and it's temporary and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and see what your spirit guides have to say. Okay, so for advice from your spirit guides, we got the Page of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. So your guides want you to be reflective and evaluate the situation that you're going through, or any situation that comes up. They want you to take a step back and really evaluate. And again, it goes back to that whole listening thing I mentioned earlier, how a good way to practice listening is to let the other person speak without feeling the urge or need to interject, and like really like hear them out. You know, oftentimes I find I even do this where someone's having a conversation and they're talking about themselves and they say something that you relate to, and so you kind of just say it too, like, oh well, I blah 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 blah, which is like, there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but sometimes you gotta like let people shine and let people say what they need to say. And so with that said, they want you to really take a step back, even not just with other people, but even with yourself. Like, evaluate what you say to yourself and about yourself. So if you journal, it would be a good idea to go back and read some old journal prompts you've made. Like, if you keep a diary or something, like, go back and like randomly like pick a day or a page or whatever it is and read what you wrote and evaluate the situation, and try to remember, oh, okay, like, I remember when I wrote that, or I remember that time or that day, and like evaluate the situation and like where you were at the time. You know, it could be a really happy time, or it could have been a really like a stressed time, or maybe nothing was happening at all, like an uneventful time, whatever. Like, your guides just want you to, you know, see yourself in the mirror and recognize patterns. They also want you to be more quiet, because when you are more perceptive of like like an outsider looking in, it allows you to receive intuitive messages. So it allows you to really tap into your intuition and listen instead of just kind of like brush it off. So this is a good time to go inwards more. Even something about checking your reactions. So some of you may deal with issues of reacting too suddenly or too quickly to things. This could even be anger. Maybe you're quick to get angry and you're like wanting to like not do that anymore. And so you're needing to identify triggers, like what it is that's really triggering you to react in a certain way. So that's a message for somebody. We have the Three of Pentacles, and this speaks about group projects and group efforts and teamwork even. And so I feel that now is a good time to really focus on teamwork or bringing people on to your team in any way that, you know, is relevant to you at this time. Because with the Ten of Wands, it's telling me that you are like, you're taking on a lot, or you're having to take on a lot in some way, and you could really use some help. You know, you could find people that could assist you in some way. So these could be teachers or gurus or coaches. They could be like teammates, like people who have the same skill sets of you that could help you. And like in a way they kind of lead you and guide you in a way, but it's still like very hands-on. Like you still it's not so much like teacher student kind of situation. It's like you both are teaching each other something, so you both are benefiting from this, whatever you need help with. They also want you to just get really creative, because the Page of Cups for me is like a really creative person. You know, this is the inner child, and the pages can represent children. So children could be of importance right now, or just like tuning back into your own inner child, your own inner playfulness. And then the Three of Pentacles is about skill and trade, cooperation, and commitments. So they want you to stay committed to the goal. Whatever this, like in the beginning, there was something about like you made a decision, you have a goal and a plan, but like a bunch of random stuff is coming up. And so it's kind of like throwing you off. The Three of Pentacles from your spirit guides want you to like stick to the plan. Like, don't forget about it. Regardless of what comes up and what happens, and regardless if there's like delays, they don't want you to give it up. They don't want you to look somewhere else or lose hope and faith, especially because of the Eight of Swords. You can find yourself in a hopeless place. They don't want that for you. They want you to keep going. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to seek the assistance of others, or some kind of like mentorship, you know, again, like a coach, or just like I don't know, like even just like reading books or watching YouTube videos. Because the Page too is also like a sponge for me in my readings. It's like just absorbing everything, like really taking it in. So there's something here that you could take in from other people. It has a lot to do with like knowledge and information that has to deal with whatever it is that you're working on. You know, a relationship, your household, your career, your job, your school, whatever, like, or personal development, whatever it is. Now is a good time to like seek. It's like Sagittarius energy, ninth house energy, that higher knowledge. So you may want to look at your ninth house. Maybe your ninth house is being activated right now, or maybe it's been kind of like in the fog for some time. So ninth house has to do with travel, foreigners, so language, and then higher education, higher philosophy and religions, and not like higher religions, but like higher teachings of religion. So like popes and stuff, like they have like a higher understanding of a religion. Regardless, they want you to seek the aid of somebody or seek the assistance of someone. So it could be help, like actual like aid, like they could help you, or it's more like knowledge based, educational based. And expect it in like places you wouldn't expect, because of the Page of Cups, this can't speak of children. Like you could even be inspired by someone younger than you or even a child. So expect it from unlikely sources. Like be open to who could be a teacher. Okay, like we don't think like children could be like teachers in a sense, but like if you have kids, then you know that they are a teacher in a way, because they like reflect things back to us. They have like such a very pure outlook on the world. They're like sponges, you know, they're in the world looking from the outside in. And it's like that up until you're like a teenager, especially high school, to where you're more involved in the world instead of looking at the world from the outside. And so, yeah, I'll just leave that message there. Also, something about like childlike wonder, just having a childlike wonder. They want you to just be in that mind state. And so with that, there's like a sense of needing to let go of control in some way. Okay, so I think that is that for this message, for this reading. I'm pretty sure I said what needs to be said. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull an oracle card for you guys. And this oracle card is going to wrap things up and give you an overall message. Today, I decided to use the Angelarium oracle deck for you guys. And, you know, these messages are quite interesting because it's more like metaphysical, and the messages in the book are more like poetic. But I like these cards because they're archetypes that you can tap into. They're either an emanation or an archangel. And so this is like archetypal energy you can tap into and call upon and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle and see what we get for your oracle message. Okay, so the oracle we got for you guys is Zachriel, Angel of Memory. Okay, and so in the book it says Zachriel, Angel of Memory. Eternally lost, Zachriel carelessly winds and unwinds the threads of thought. Memory has no worries or concerns. You are safe to wrap yourself in the bands of time gone by as well. It is warm and safe within the fog of Zachriel. All you knew greets you, welcomes you, longs for you. The power of remembrance is balanced by the power of forgetfulness. Pouring memory into the cup of forgetfulness makes room for new memory. Zachriel is the angel of all memory, even memory lost. If you take something with you, you must also leave something behind. And the signs to look out for are a knot, a loom, and a maze. Okay, so that's pretty fascinating. Some of the things I've mentioned in this reading, like some of the words, they popped up in this message, in this oracle card. And so that's something to take with you. If anything, if there's one thing to take away from this reading, I would take away the oracle message. Because this is really like what this reading is about. Okay, so feel free to screenshot that if you want to keep it with you. Keep this message with you. And before we go, I have a channeled song for you. So if you're into channeled music and receiving messages through the sound or through the lyrics, then go ahead and check out the song. And the song I picked for you guys is by Holy Trill. The song is called So Cold. And you can find a link for that in the description below. And that basically wraps up this reading. If you haven't yet already, please hit the subscribe button, tap the notifications bell, and like this video. By liking this video, you help to push it into the YouTube algorithm for other people to find. Follow my profile on Instagram at SpotlessMindTarot. Replace the I in mind with the number 1. If you would like to book a private reading with me, my readings are available on my Etsy shop, kaleidoscopeescape.etsy.com. Also, do me a huge favor and drop a comment below. Let me know if your reading resonates with you. It also lets me know that you're here with me, and it could help me tune into your energies for future readings so that way you can receive a more accurate message. Thank you so much for watching. I am very, very grateful for your presence, and I will catch you in the next video.